Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and my law firm assists nurse practitioners with employment contract issues. Today, I'm going to talk about what is occurrence-based malpractice insurance coverage for a nurse practitioner. So, if you're a nurse practitioner and you're out in either private practice, meaning you're working for a physician-owned practice, perhaps you own your own practice in a state that allows it, there's going to be two types of insurance that you can utilize. One is called claims-made coverage, and the second is occurrence-based coverage. So what is claims-made? Claims-made coverage simply means that a policy has to be in effect when the claim is actually made. So you could be with an employer, and then the contract would terminate for whatever reason, and then that policy is done. It only covers you for the time when you were there. So there would need to be a gap policy, also known as tail insurance, that covers the gap in between when you leave the employer and then the last day somebody can sue you. And that's, for most states, that's 2 years. That's called a statute of limitations. Basically, it's a limitation on filing a suit against somebody. And so for med-mal claims, in most states, it's 2 years. And so you would need that policy to cover that 2-year gap so that if you did get sued during that time, you would be covered. Now, as far as tail insurance is concerned, it's usually about twice what your annual premium is. And your annual premium is just how much the employer pays for you to be insured on a yearly basis. I'd say most NPs, at least their annual premiums, are probably around $2,000. It is specialty dependent, but let's just say it's an FMP, somewhere between $1,500 to $2,500 is a pretty good estimate. So your tail would be twice that if you were responsible to pay, pay for it. So that's claims made with tail insurance. Now, this video is about occurrence-based insurance. So an occurrence-based policy simply means a policy has to be in effect when the claim or the malpractice incident occurs. So no tail insurance is necessary for an occurrence-based policy. Now, why would someone choose one over the other? Well, it's price. So an occurrence-based policy is about a third more expensive per year than a claims-made policy. But because you don't have to pay for tail insurance, it can be a better option for some. And so think of it this way. If you're going to be with an employer on a short-term basis, meaning you start a job and you know you're only going to be there for a year or two, but you are responsible for maybe you're an independent contractor and it's up to you to get the insurance. Well, if you had an occurrence-based policy, yes, it's a third more expensive per year, but you don't have that 2 times annual premium tail cost on the end. And so let's say if you're with an employer for let's just say you're going to be there for 2 years, your underlying policy is $2,000. If it were a claims-made policy, so it's a third more. So let's just say it's around $2,700. And so if you had to pay that for 2 years, that's $5,400. And that'd be the total amount that you pay for insurance. So $5,400 for 2 years. If you had a claims-made policy, so it's $2,000, which is $4,000. But then you'd have to double that for tail cost, which is $8,000. So then it's $12,000 total versus, what we said is $5,400. So you would come out way ahead if you chose an occurrence-based policy, if it's a short-term employment. Now, if it's a longer-term employment, or maybe you're starting your own practice and you plan to be there indefinitely, a claims-made policy might make more sense in the long run. Most employers do not give the NP the option. So you most likely will have the option if you're working as an independent contractor, because you're the one that has to pay for the policy. There are a few opportunities where they would pay for your annual premium, but those are fairly rare. But for the most part, you do not have the choice of one or the other. And most employers offer claims made and then put the onus for the tail cost on the provider because it's cheaper for them. It's a third less per year for them to pay, and they don't have to worry about the tail cost. So that's what occurrence-based coverage is. You do not need tail, but it's a third more expensive. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions about your employment agreement, you can always call my law firm at the phone number listed below in the description, or you can reach us through our website, chellelaw.com. If you thought this video was helpful, please like, subscribe to the channel. We release videos every single day. I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.